This is Mark, who's tweeted us at Sky Football Show using that hashtag Sky Football Show. He says, Merce, what a player you were for Arsenal and England, by the way. And he wants to know, is there an English player that excites you right now in the Premier League?
Well, there's three players that I'm massively, and one of them is Bruno Fernandes, who we just talked about. My other player is Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, that's not really off the charts, is it? I mean, this lad is special. I mean, my game used to be about trying to see it pass. You know, that was my game, really. I thought I was quite intelligent on a football pitch, not brave in tackling-wise, but brave on trying to get the ball and put the ball through and see a pass. And even I watch Kevin De Bruyne and I watch him and I can't see what he's doing. Sometimes he puts balls through and I think, how did he actually see that? You know, it's just phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player. And the other one's Jack Grealish. I mean, he's a special player. He's the best 3-4 yard passer I've seen in the game for a long, long time. And people will go, oh, 3-4 yard passes. You know, you watch football when it comes back and you see how many people roll the ball back to a fullback and they have to take a touch, or someone goes over the overlap and they kick it out a touch, or he's always a pitch-perfect ball, that 3 or 4 yard ball. And for me, he's a special player, very comfortable on the ball, very gifted.
It reminds me a little bit of you, actually, Merce. When I remember playing against you and you'd want to face you up and go past you, drop the shoulder, play that little one when you're outside of the foot. He's got that. He's a maverick, isn't he? And I think fans love that. I think that's why we all enjoy when Jack Grealish is playing well. He's worth his box office. He's well worth watching.
Yeah, he is. And he's been out. Thank you, Jamie. But he's an outstanding player. I mean, I think people are looking at him at the moment and big clubs are probably thinking, can I trust Jack Grealish? Has he got a position? You know, he keeps on going everywhere for the ball. But I just think that's because he's playing at Aston Villa. I don't think if he went to a bigger club and a better club with better players who are on his wavelength, I think he will play a position. But at the moment, I think people are a little bit worried. Can they trust him? He's going all over the pitch to get the ball. But I think at a bigger and better, I don't want to say a bigger and a better club because Aston Villa are a great club, believe me. But with better players, I think he'd be able to hold his position and would be a massive asset for. I personally think for any club in the Premier League.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Can I come in there? Can I ask you guys? For me, he needs to move the ball quicker. Reason to say that?
Yeah.
Too many touches. He's the most tackled player in the Premier League. Is that necessary? I think he needs to see the picture quicker, move it quicker.
I think with that, Graeme, I do think he's trying to take it on too much. I don't think he has trust in the players that they're good enough around him. I think if you come with better players, I think, you know, I look at someone like Michael Ballack, who was a great player, who when he was at Bayern Munich, when he was in Germany, he would probably touch the ball 100 times in a game, and in them 100 times, he'd probably at least 10 times he'd find a world-class ball. You know, so you're always going to have a good game because you're going to find that pass. But I just think when he went to Chelsea, and Chelsea had a lot of star players and Frank Lampard's and people like that, from 100 touches a game to 60 or 70 or even 50, it's a lot harder. I think he doesn't trust the players. I think he's trying to be the school captain at the moment and try and do everything. I agree with you. He's keeping the ball too long, but I think with better players, they will demand the ball off him. I think at Aston Villa, I think they just let him do what he wants because they think, well, like at school captain, here's the ball, go and beat everybody and we'll win the game.
Well, if he went to a big club, where would you see him? What system do you think would suit him?
And that's the problem. It's the way teams play now. I do think he's just behind the. I think he's one of them just behind the centre forward. I think one of the two behind the centre forward. But again, then when he plays out, I'd at least want two holding midfield players. I'd want two people that can win the ball back because I do think he's one of them players that when they haven't got the ball, he's not going to bring too much to the party. So I think you got to have him where you got two holding midfield players, a player like a Fernandes who can put the ball and find people in them little spaces. Because it's all right saying, oh, you have a free role and people like which don't exist anymore, really. But you play behind the centre forward, you're only as good as the people that give you the ball. You know, I thought Gareth Barry was one of the best in the business for a long time. Just simple balls, keep on feeding Silva and people like that. And I think that's important. I think just behind the front two, in a two behind the forward.
Merce, as a
I agree, Merson.
Scotsman,
I think Graeme is just talking of just one thing on Jack Grealish. I think I think that you haven't got to overthink it. He can play. You can play with a two and him just behind the striker. You could play him off the left hand side, a little bit where Merce played at times. You could ask him to come off the line. He can cut in and have a dribble. And in terms of getting fouled a lot, I think that's a skill set. I love players like that want to have a dribble. There's enough players that play simple in this game. Sometimes when I go to football, I want to see someone that's going to do something different. Get up the pitch, take people on, get people off their seats. I think he's got tremendous ability. He's playing in a side that's at the bottom. Some games he hardly touches the ball. Imagine if he played in a side that was in the top six where he had the ball all the time or he was sharing it. Then he could go and do his magic. I think he can play at the top level, no doubt.
I think that's something that he needs to address. We'll end up going down the road of Jack Wilshere where he'll get lots of injuries, and he's got to learn to move the ball quicker. Getting away from it, I'm absolutely thrilled for you English that you've got Mason Mount, you've got Maddison and Jack Grealish as three potential top midfield players coming through. As a Scotsman, I'm thrilled for you, as you can imagine.
I think all over your face.
Jack, I think with Jack playing on the left-hand side, JB, like you said to me, like playing on the left, I used to play on the left a bit and come inside. But in this day and age now, these fullbacks, they're like wingers. I mean, you have to chase back now. You have to have a bit of a track back before a right back would literally just stay where they are and they'd be more worried about you. But for me, yeah, I'm with you, Jack Grealish. I would always get him into a team and then work it out from there.
I think with that one,
you have got one, Graeme, we'll give you.
Sorry,
you can chat all day about Jack Grealish. I want to give Graeme a chance to talk about a Scottish player. One of the people that you identified as being something you were looking forward to seeing when he came back, young Billy Gilmour. You can claim him.
Yeah, I think he's made such an impression. I've yet to see him live, and I'm really looking forward to it. But anybody ask, any football person, Jamie's cousin, ask any of them. I mean, I think he's got a great... I mean, he's only 18. I think he's 19 in June. But, you know, when you think of McGinn and him for Scotland going forward, they have potential to be top players, both at international level and at the clubs. But Billy Gilmour is one I picked up because I've not seen enough of him, and people have said great things about him for such a young man.
Mm. We touched on it earlier on in the show, David. I'm looking forward, and I think it's a matter of time with Jadon Sancho coming to the Premier League. I think we're talking about a genuine superstar player that can do incredible things with the ball. Played 70-odd games in the Bundesliga, 27 goals from a wide area is very good, but also his assists that he adds. We've missed out on the likes of the Neymars in the Premier League. I think he could come and really light it up. He's got that personality, I would call it, to play for a top club, and I think he'll be a great signing for wherever he goes. I'd like to see him at Liverpool. Got a bad feeling he's going to end up at United, though.